My name's Mike Blue, and I'm from HIX-TV. I'm the guidance counselor there. And I'm going to just do some quick introductions. We've got Mrs. Poulter from Fairview up here. Yes, Mrs. Poulter, thank you. We got Miss Neese over here from Harrisville. She's here tonight. We got for Defiance, we've got Mr. Singer right over here. Yep, go ahead and stand, Mr. Singer, so we can see you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. And Tenora's counselor is over at the Sarek building. I want to thank you for coming tonight. When we're done here, and it's going to take a little bit, so I hope that you pay attention to what the ladies present, but we're going to break up. Like, for instance, my Hicksville people, we're going to go over to Sarek Center, and I know we got some groups going to Hubbard. So if you got one of these sheets, it's going to tell you where you need to go when we're done here. But I do want to give a lot of thanks to Defiance College for, again, providing this venue for us to get together and break it up into all the different rooms. They're really busy today putting that together, and we really appreciate them doing that. And then I want to thank, from Defiance College, Jennifer Stark, and Northwest State was gracious enough to have a representative here, Kristen Roush. She's admissions, they're both admissions. They both know what they're talking about, especially CCP. So they're going to have all the answers. So we're going to head and start with the ladies and take off.
All right, thank you all for coming tonight. And I am Jennifer Stark, Associate Director of Admissions here at DC. Kristen and I will be presenting an overview of the College Credit Plus program and some details about Northwest State and Defiance College. Then anything specific to your high school will happen in those breakout sessions when we are completed. So anything, any questions you do have that your guidance counselor will handle, please just hold those questions till you get to those sessions and we'll get through the program a little more quickly. And again, any Tenora High School, if you're in here in the wrong building, they need to go over to Sarek Campus Center. So if you go out there, Janelle can point you out. But after Kristen and I are finished, I will point you out, and Janelle and Brenda from my offices will be helping walk those over to the other buildings, so we'll get you to the right spots. So College Credit Plus, a raise of hands for the students if you did College Credit Plus this year or in the past, or what may have been post-secondary a few years ago. How many students? So a lot of new students taking part in this. Well, it's a great way for students entering 7th through 12th grade to get a jump start on their college education. The qualified students, we talk about that a lot on what that qualification is specific to the different colleges. And they can enroll in any participating college in Ohio. So all of the state colleges, community colleges must participate in College Credit Plus in Ohio. Private colleges can choose to participate or not. It's a way for those students to earn both their high school credit and their college credit. There's no cost if they're choosing the correct option, which most would choose the option where the school district funding and funding from the state covers their tuition costs. So no cost for that. And they are taught all by college professors, whether it's teachers at the high school that have been qualified and certified by the colleges, or on the college campus, either online or on the campus in the classroom. Because they are college students, then they have access to the different resources that the colleges offer, the academic support services and various things. So that you would check into later once you get into those courses. So there's different formatting of those courses, whether they are on campus, in the classroom, online, or in some cases, and the guidance counselors will talk to you about that, whether the courses are held at your high school and how you receive the credit from that and which college awards that credit. The courses are transferable once you start applying to colleges in your end of your junior into your senior year. Most of the time you have to have a C or higher for another college to accept that credit to come in. So that's another important reason to really watch those grades and to try your best in these courses. So then and there's different ways to find out, either talking to the college reps, looking on the websites and things to find those best courses that are transferable. So some of the prerequisites, so that could be, so if a student wants to take a Composition 2, of course they have to take Composition 1 first, or a higher level math, algebra, pre-calculus, all those, there's levels that go up. So there may be a prerequisite before you take a specific course based on their test called your AccuPlacer from Northwest State, or ACT or SAT scores, sub-scores. that may put you into a remedial type of class before going into Composition 1 or into a math course. If you, based on those, the college is telling you you have to take a remedial course, those are not paid for by College Credit Plus. If you still want to get up to that Comp 1 or the calculus and things, then you can pay for those remedial courses and then move up, and then College Credit Plus pays for those. The other types of courses that's not covered under College Credit Plus because it's state funding are religion courses. So this gives a comparison of of the differences between high school and college. In high school, of course, you have classes back to back or a study hall here and there. College courses may run, say, 50 minutes for 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday, Thursday class for an hour and 15 minutes. If you have a science class, you may have a lecture 2 or 3 days, and then you're meeting a separate day of the week for a 2.5 to 3 hour lab because it's a science course. So in order to schedule your college classes and your high school classes and make it usable for you and getting all the high school classes that you need, you have to work very closely with your guidance counselor on what your schedule at the high school first allows before you schedule your college classes. It's very important to do that. And as I said, there's different formats, whether it's online, face-to-face, or a hybrid blend of those courses. As far as attendance, of course, when you're in high school, the school's teachers are taking your attendance every day. For college classes, professors don't always take attendance, but you are still expected to be there, of course. It's the best way to participate and keep your grades up. Even if they're not taking attendance, still put that on yourself to attend the class. Your high school, because of FERPA and things, we can't let them know when students aren't attending class. So it can get to a point where a student has really fallen behind and not sharing things with their parents or sharing things with their high school because of FERPA. We can't. So we really just let the students know that it's something that you need to talk to your parents and the students need to talk together ahead of time to make sure you are covering all of the important things to make sure you're successful. Teacher intervention too. So you're in high school, your teachers are giving you the syllabus at the beginning of the semester, quizzes and tests and papers and things like that throughout the whole semester. The same in college, but the difference is your college professor may give you that syllabus first day of class and never address that syllabus again unless there's a problem. They're not going to keep reminding you, hey, there's a quiz scheduled in 2 weeks, or you have to turn that paper in tomorrow. They're going to expect for you to look at that and make sure you're doing that. So it's a big difference. They're not hand-holding in college. Once you step in that college class, you are a college student. Many times professors aren't even aware that you're a College Credit Plus student unless you offer the information. So it's definitely the same expectations there, and they definitely hold them accountable. Homework is much different too, where you may have daily homework in high school, and so you have multiple grades building up to your final for your semester, your yearly grade. In college, you may have a quiz, a paper, and a final, and that's your full grade. So those are big chunks of work that is in your full grade there, much different from high school. And not always do they give extra credit and things. Even if you are sick and can't get to class, you have that paper due or a quiz or test that day. It's much different from high school. You need to somehow figure that out with your professor. You will get behind. Not as much work in the classroom like there is in high school. Much more work is expected on the student outside of the classroom. And on that right column at the bottom there, it shows for a 3 credit hour class, which most college classes are 3 credits. If it's a science class, it may have 4 credits. For those, you are expected, you're in class about 2.5 hours or more. You're expected to have about 7.5 hours per week of studying. Because it might be researching, starting your paper, getting ready, going to a study group, all of those different things. Any questions yet? I'm going fast because we have a lot of information to cover. So different ways students can improve their grades in high school, the attendance, extra credit and things, not always do they have that opportunity in college. I think this is where we switch over. I'm not quite sure. We've only done this about 20 times. So I'll come back up and talk about Defiance College in a little bit.
All right, good evening. As Mr. Blue said, my name is Kristen Roush, and I'm an admissions recruiter out at Northwest State Community College. I'm going to continue here and just talking about some other things to possibly consider when thinking about the College Credit Plus program. One thing, obviously we don't have a busing system for all the different schools that participate in this program and going to all the different colleges. So the student is responsible for getting to and from campus. So definitely something to think about, especially if your student is not able to drive yet, and how they're going to work that out. A big thing with College Credit Plus, it can and potentially it might affect your GPA and your class rank. There's been many situations where students have been, the first or second student in their class. They took a Comp 1 class or whatever it may be, didn't do so well, and that therefore went on their cumulative GPA, brought down their class rank. So it's definitely something to take into consideration when you're looking into this opportunity. Of course, everybody likes a good snow delay or fog delay, but with this program, it's not as frequent that it'll happen. A lot of colleges just do not close when it comes to bad weather. So again, something to think about. Obviously, no one wants to put a student in any sort of danger or anything along those lines, but it's just something that has to be communicated with the instructors if you're unable to make it to class. But as you can see right here at the bottom, they typically only cancel if it's a level 3 across all 5 counties in the area. So again, something to think about when you're commuting. All right, so there's a lot of different class types in the College Credit Plus program, and Jennifer already kind of touched on some of these a little bit, but I'll go into a little bit more detail so everybody's just kind of aware of, again, their options. So first and foremost, of course, there's face-to-face, which is on campus, whether it's here or it's over at Northwest State. So this is great for those of you who like a little more interaction, like to work with your peers, just like to have that communication face-to-face. I always think, everybody kind of knows their way of learning best. You as a student. So for some of you, this is going to be the only way you want to take College Credit Plus courses. So again, usually these classes are offered at a set day and time. Instructors lead the groups and other activities, and classes average about 18 students per instructor. I know at Northwest State, that's about what we're at. We're about 20, 21. So online, again, I think it takes a certain type of student to do online classes. There's a lot more of the responsibility on the student, a lot of time management. There's still deadlines and due dates, but also too, there's not somebody sitting there holding your hand, if you will, telling you, when things need to be turned in. It's up to that student to make sure that they are checking their online format, whatever it may be, with whatever college, and keeping up with the coursework and readings. I know specifically at Northwest State, we do require an online learning readiness assessment, so that is something required for any student interested in doing online courses, just making sure they understand the actual system we use, making sure you understand how to check your mail and messages and announcements, and also upload assignments. There's also a hybrid option. This is kind of the best of both worlds. There's face-to-face time, but then there's also online resources and submitting of assignments. So again, it's a good combination. Meet fewer hours during the week. More coursework and activities are online, which I kind of mentioned already. Gives some students some of that freedom and a little bit of more of a freer pace, I guess you could say. But again, it has that convenience of online, but again, the personal interaction and of course the campus experience. And then also with high schools, not all high schools offer college courses on their campuses. So again, when you go out to your breakout sessions, this is definitely something to talk with your guidance counselors to see if it is an option. Again, all the faculty that teach courses on the high school campuses are qualified to teach college courses. So again, it just depends on your high school. Okay, so the information that I'm going to tell you now is more specific to Northwest State. So this here is going to show you some of the requirements you need in order to be part of our program. Some of you may have already taken your ACTs, which is great. Some of you may have done our Compass assessment. And then also this year we're using the AccuPlacer assessment. So basically Compass and AccuPlacer are alternatives to the ACT. So if you see here, the one score that is a must for getting into this College Credit Plus program with Northwest State is your reading score. So as you can see through the chart there, reading for your ACT, you have to have a 21 or higher, Compass 80 or higher, and AccuPlacer, you have to have a 60 or higher. AccuPlacer is an assessment, it's a free assessment that we offer on our campus. Some high schools do have our testing coordinator come out to the high school campus as well. Again, a question to talk to your guidance counselors about. The additional scores there for math and English, those are only necessary if you're wanting to take an English course or a math course. So again, that's not a requirement unless you're taking those subjects. Any questions on our qualification scores here at all? Northwest State? Okay. There are other options such as summer courses. This is a great option because a lot of people, you don't have the school you're going on, maybe sports aren't as involved at that point. Something though to definitely take into consideration is that summer courses are only 8 weeks long. Typically a semester is about 16 weeks long. So you're taking the same amount of work that you would do in 16 weeks, consolidating it down to those 8 weeks. So it's a little more intense. Again, it's knowing how you are as a learner. Is this something you can handle? Versus having one paper due a week, maybe you have 2 papers due a week for that comp course. So again, something to consider when thinking about summer term. So our summer term begins June 5th and goes through July 28th. We also have some courses that require 12-week terms. Those are more of our lab-based courses, and those go from May 15th to July 28th. So I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, well, I'm still in school at May 18th. Something, again, to just think about. You're going to be finishing up school, but you're going to have classes starting for that summer term. So they don't wait until you finish out your high school year for you to get into the class. So, and if you are interested in summer classes, actually our summer and our fall schedule will be available online March 6th, and you can actually start registering for those classes March 13th. So this just goes over pretty much what we just talked about, the different deadlines. Tonight you're going to be talking with your counselors about the intent to participate. Our College Credit Plus application is available online. northweststate.edu is where you can find that. In addition to our application, you will also be filling out a consent to participate form. This is just making sure everybody's on the same page. Mom, Dad, your high school, and of course the college. So everybody's aware of your participation. You will also need to submit a high school transcript and those scores, whether it's ACT, AccuPlacer, or Compass. And then you'll see below this here are all of our different deadlines. Keep in mind your high school deadlines may be different from Northwest State's or from Defiance's deadlines. So just make sure you're keeping track of what's due when and who is it due to. So again, the intent to participate is April 1st, and then the Northwest State application, if you're wanting to do summer classes, is due March 1st, and summer classes would be, fall classes would be April 15th. So if you're thinking about those summer classes, that deadline is going to be approaching rather quickly. And again, this pretty much reiterates the application process, the scheduling for the AccuPlacer and ACT. But in addition, at Northwest State, you are required to do an online advising orientation, which is considered our workshop. And also, if you're planning on doing those online classes, you have to do an OLR. We do also, once you of course meet with your guidance counselor, so you're communicating with them and making sure you're fulfilling your graduation requirements, which is obviously the most important while you're also trying to get these college credits. But also too, at Northwest State, we have 2 College Credit Plus advisors that they're kind of dependent on what school you go to. We have Renee Bosselman, and then we also have Sherry Ricks. So you will meet with not only your guidance counselors, but you can meet with these College Credit Plus advisors and talk through some of your options, and they will actually register you then for the classes. And there's my contact information. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to help you out. Obviously, I'll be here for the rest of the night too. Feel free to grab me. And does anybody have any questions right now for me pertaining to Northwest State? Okay, thank you.
All right, so the Defiance College application process. And your guidance counselors will have both Northwest State and DC information in your breakout sessions. We have the application and intent to participate form is what your high schools are having you sign tonight. So the guidance counselors will just make a copy and send that to me with the application. The guidance counselor verification is a signature on our form that also requires student and parent signature, an official high school transcript, and official ACT or SAT scores for us. Our application deadlines, like Kristen said, each school is a little bit different. We do offer summer courses, so that's in May 1st. Fall is August 15th, and spring of 18 is December 1st. So every college has to abide by their regular admission policy in admitting regular college students is what they use to admit the College Credit Plus students. Ours is a cumulative high school GPA or cumulative school GPA of 2.25 on a 4.0 scale. The ACT or SAT must be taken for us. So 18 composite on the ACT, we do not require the writing portion. Or the SAT, if you use that, there's two areas, the reading, writing combined, and the math. So those two combined scores up a 940 for the SAT. And you must meet both the 225 and the 18 or 940. And I had already gone through the prerequisites for us. Our course scheduling form in the application that the guidance counselors have, you can print our form off our website, but it's not an online where you can submit it, so it must be filled out on paper and mailed in. And there on the second page has a link for, you can log into the registrar's website and pull up the course schedule so you can see for summer, fall, and spring. In early August, for those starting in the fall, I will have the students come on campus and meet with me. I'll give them their schedule, their photo IDs, their parking pass, their computer password and email access, and all of those different things. It's nice for parents to come with them so they can go over the information. Like I said about the FERPA. So, and every college has this. In a student portal, there's information on there where a student can give parent that FERPA access, so then colleges can talk with you. Guidance counselors still can't share the grades until the official grades are out and mailed out to you. But I always recommend for those parents coming there and the students to talk about that, and the students at any point before or during the semester can give their parents access. It's so important because, like I said, if a student gets behind and the parent wasn't aware, I can't share that with them if they have not been given access. The DC email, as soon as you are given the college email from Northwest State or us or any other college, start checking that all the time. We send out so much information, so please don't delete those or email or not check those. For us, for Defiance College, our textbooks are on loan to the student. So I purchase those, hand them to the student. They must return them after their final exam, or we hold their grades or can charge them for that textbook. So we had already gone through that. Most of our classes are on campus. We do have some online in fall and spring, but the summer courses, most of those are actually online, and we're working towards getting some more online or hybrid. We use Moodle as our online portal here. That's me. So any questions specifically for just the CCP overview, Kristen or I, for the colleges, anything that's high school related, please save that for your guidance counselors. Okay, so at this time, we'll get you out into your individual sessions. So before anybody moves, let me just go over this again. Defiance High School will remain here in Schaumburg Auditorium. Fairview High School, and someone's going to lead them. Fairview's going to head like straight across. Janelle Rubio from Financial Aid's back there. You're heading straight across the sidewalk in front of the library to Hubbard McCann. The other groups then, Hicksville, and Ayersville will go to Sarah Campus Center, and Brenda's up there will lead you over. Your locations are upstairs. So first, let's let Fairview High School get out the doors and go out these glass set of doors there.